right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Fit Fabulous Life podcast, where today we are doing something a little extra special.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So excited. It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad we're here.
Yes, me too. I'm super excited. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you guys. And today we're actually recording live in the Jasper Hotel in downtown Fargo. So we have this beautiful space to work in, which is so inspiring for creatives. And I have amazing creatives on the show today.
Yes. And I think it's called the Gardener Suite.
Gardener Suite.
Yes. And it's stunning. The views. If you have an opportunity to book this suite, book it. Plus, if you like mojitos, get the mojitos.
Yes, yes. I'm so excited to have you guys as my debut for this. It's kind of this unique version of the show where it's a laid back, we're in this great environment. And I think that's so inspiring. And I'm so excited to dive into your story. So I've got Andy of Studio Drew and Cait here today. And I'd love to hear a little bit about what you guys are up to.
Yeah. So, I've been developing a luxury handbag and accessory line for the past 2.5 years, and we are getting very close to launching the brand just in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and we're super excited to talk about it.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. Especially when I saw the pieces, like it's so cool because this is like comes back full circle. Because I remember Cait and I have been friends for a long time, and then you and I knew each other from just like living near each other and just kind of having our lives cross that way. And you started. Can you take us back to the pillows? Like, tell us a little bit about these amazing pillows you started with.
Yeah, so I currently work at McNeil and Friends, Fine Home Furnishings in South Fargo, and I've worked there for the past 3 years. And the designers at the time kind of caught wind that I knew how to sew, and so they started asking me to make custom pillows. And so slowly but surely, I kind of started a small pillow business, which then in return funded kind of the startup of the luxury bags. It's been fun. It's been fun to be creative and make another dream come true. From something else that was creative. So.
I love that, and that's so cool to hear that story. And I'd love to share a little bit about what's your background, what's your passion, like how did you get started in fashion and textile work and things like that?
Yeah, well, I grew up around here. I grew up in the small town of Ada, Minnesota. And right when I graduated high school, I moved to Chicago to go to fashion school. So I got my Bachelor's of Fine Art in Focus in Fashion from the Art Institute. And then I lived in Chicago for like 8 years, worked in various different fashion roles and jobs throughout my time in Chicago. And actually, I did own a little tote bag company back in 2014. They're nothing like what I'm doing now. But so I was kind of creative in that way several years back. Then I moved to LA. I lived there for a couple of years and decided to come back and be around family and then landed the job at McNeil and Friends, and the rest is kind of history. So
that's really cool. I love that you took, kind of the bits and pieces of where you lived, your experiences, and even the experiences with the tote bags, and kind of bringing it full circle now into what you're working on.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I just have always been really, fixated on, luxury craftsmanship, and specifically like tote bags. I think the tote bag is just, an amazing universal kind of carrying tool for both men and women. And I kind of wanted to take it to like a new level, take the tote bag and change it up, change, the design, maybe like the handle structure. And then just over the years, the past 2 years of kind of like developing, I kind of have created a very unique style of tote bag, but they're all just tote bags, and then of course some small leather accessories as well. Mm-hmm. But it's so crazy to like look at the line and kind of see what has happened, because there's been so many prototypes and so many trial and errors of, the wrong lining, the wrong way to stitch something. And I'm really, self-taught when it comes to leather craft. Mm-hmm. I went to school for fashion and I learned how to drape and make patterns and all that, but we never worked with leather.
Mm-hmm.
So just, from the beginning to what it is now, I guess, is been a fun journey.
Whole new ball game.
Whole new ball game.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I love about this is, recently I actually was listening to a podcast that talked about, a lot of times we as individuals, we want to have confidence to start something. But the reality is we have to start something to gain confidence and like have all those little failures along the way and all those fine tuning and back to square one. And, that's what refines us and that's what creates ultimately our successes. Can you share a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, it has been, it's been an amazing journey, but it definitely came with a lot of, self-doubt, lots of questioning whether I'm doing something that's even attainable for me, especially working, full time and doing pillows on the side. But, there was this passion and fire deep down inside of me that would not let me stop. So like, even though I would create, say, a prototype of a bag and it didn't work out because one little thing was wrong, well, it inspired me to then change that thing and then continue on and build the next bag. And each time they got a little bit better. So it was like, even though there was a failure, there was like a spark of inspiration that came from that failure to kind of push me to keep going. And, it's funny because I think in any creative role or when you're developing any kind of brand or whatever it is, you kind of have these like stages where you have like aha moments and you work so hard and you fail, but then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you get to the next level. And I've had like 3 of those in the past, couple of years. And the last one was literally, just a couple of weeks ago.
And it completely changed the shift that Studio Drew went on.
Yeah. Exactly. And, Cait has been with me, how long has it been now?
So end of January.
February. And
but we've known each other for longer.
We have.
Yes.
And Cait has been such an incredible, sense of support, and her amazing, creative talents mixed with what I'm doing has been super amazing. But, she's seen these bags for the past however many months, 6 months. And
even longer because you used to bring them to McNeil. And I would just comment because I've always loved high fashion, working as a stylist for the last 5 years. And my love of fashion has been a lot longer than that. And every time Andy would bring in one of his new prototypes, I'm like, it can't get any better than this. Like, it literally cannot get any better. And the next thing you know, he would alter it. And I'm like, just kidding. I thought it couldn't get any better, but it has.
I love that story.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So she's seen them. She's seen how many different
he has a
prototypes.
Graveyard closet in his guest bedroom. He's like, Cait, you want to see all the ones that didn't make it? And I'm like, how many do you have? And he opens up this closet door, and I just call it the Graveyard whenever I go over there. Yeah. It is the Studio Drew Graveyard.
It's like I can't let them go because each bag takes literally 10 hours to sew.
Yep.
And so they just kind of like live in there, and then it's like, what if I start getting like, whatever, I like peek in there, I'm like, oh, you've put a lot of hard work into this, like keep going.
Keep going. Don't give up. That's like a really good way to look at that. The graveyard of bags is like, this is like, I need to keep going, keep working. And
it's like the ghost of Studio Drew past.
Yeah, the ghost. And, they really are like, I don't know. It's like kind of sad when I look in there, but also it's like, wow, like each stage has been, a monumental, like, mark in my creative journey as a leather craftsman, as a designer, or whatever you want to call it. And so, one day they'll have to go, but for now, and at least the Graveyard's like it doesn't keep piling up. Right?
No,
like there's been less screw ups.
That's refining. Yeah.
And I wouldn't even call them screw ups.
No,
I would just call them
it's a journey.
because you at that point you looked at them and they were the bag until something else came along, you're like, I can make it even better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't call them screw ups. I would just say they were lessons learned.
Lessons learned.
Yes.
This actually reminds me of a story when I was in Madrid. And I literally walked into this random gallery behind my hotel, and there was Picasso's Guernica, this huge painting that Picasso had done. But the kicker was all of his sketches and progress work was framed up on the other side. So you follow his journey.
Oh, inspiring.
That's beautiful.
So it's very much like your bags. Each one of those bags is one of those images, just like Picasso had, up to the finished product. So never look at it like...
So they're all pieces of art.
They're all
in
pieces
their own way.
of art. You're
the next Picasso.
Thank you for saying that. I might not see it like that, but thank you.
The Picasso of bags.
And then down the road, who knows? Maybe it's the mess up bags that end up going for the biggest amount of money.
Well,
this is when you're humble beginning.
You never know. You just got to sign each one inside and date them.
Yeah.
Well,
never know.
They're staying put for now. We'll see how this collection goes.
Right. I think it'll go great.
You have a collection launch coming up. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are scheduled to launch our online website on June 15th.
Yes, coming up.
Coming up really soon. It's www. Oh my gosh.
Is it studiodrew.com?
Is it Studio
I'm not
Drew?
even drinking alcohol here. www.thestudiodrew.com.
Okay.
We just had to change that recently.
I was going to say, I only couldn't remember that because we just went through a big snafu with trademarking.
Yes.
And so we had to change our name.
Okay.
But
I'd love to hear that story. But first I want to add, you're not alone. I just changed my podcast from Fargo Fit Friend to Fit Fabulous Life. And I have to actually physically think about it every time I say it. So you're not alone.
Every time we're like, Drew. And then we're like, we have to, correct ourselves.
We're like, Studio Drew.
Okay, so now we got to share with our audience. Okay, what's the story there?
Yeah, so one of those little bumps in the road that we were talking about, which
it's one of the bigger bumps.
One of the bigger and more expensive bumps in the road was and very, very crushing for me.
Mind you, I'm going to pause you for a minute. How Andy diverts when an issue comes is like inspiring because most people would dwell on that for a solid week, if not longer. And you just you asked me my opinion. I gave my opinion and it was like, we're done. We're getting this done. We're not waiting around for this. It just is going to happen. And we're going to do it.
No, they're all dying to really know what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We were shooting our campaign, with the fabulous model, Bella Miller, just about a month and a half ago. About
a month.
Yeah. And so we were in the studio and we were shooting, and then it was a 2-day run. And I don't know why it came to my attention or my brain at that time, but after we shot, I was kind of working on some website things, and I was like, trademarking. Oh yeah, I need to put that on the checklist to do, because I knew it was important, and I knew that it was something that you really need to do for the long run to protect your business. And as I started to do a little bit more research, I unfortunately found out that Drew has already been trademarked, and it's a very complex situation because there's so many different classes, and you could be called Drew as a car wash, and then you could be called Drew as a grocery store or whatever. But I did research on a leather handbag accessory line for Drew, and nothing came up. But unfortunately, Justin Bieber has a line called what is it called? House of Drew.
House of Drew.
But
the Biebs.
He has trademarked Drew, House of Drew, anything that's under Drew, and everything under fashion. So that was I obviously talked to Cait, and I was like how important is this? We're so close to launching. What am I going to do? All the bags are all imprinted with just Drew. We have the website, emails, everything. And she said you can't mess around, especially not with someone as big as Justin Bieber, because he'll drown you in lawsuits and legal stuff. So I just like you said, I was like, well, whatever, it's got to get done. So I handled it right away and have been slowly chipping away at like the new bag plates and switched the website,
this
which I couldn't
means
remember.
like all the bags that we have already had done for launch had to be completely wiped clean and started over. It was a diversion that had to happen, but it was it
had to happen, but it was really, really tough pill for me to swallow. Because I mean, with the bags, I mean, it's not like I can just rip off the label and switch it. I mean, every single step has to go, in concession, and it's just not reversible. Like once that's stamped on, it's done. So then, of course, I had to order the new die plates and wait for those to come, and but it was something that we got over. It was a hurdle that we jumped over, and we just kept running.
It's better to have that done than to sit around and just continue doing what we're doing and it become a bigger problem than it is at the moment that we found out.
And like you said, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. Like, at least it happened when it did.
Yep.
Yes, it made the pressure on both of our shoulders a lot heavier and a lot more. But at the end of the day, we're protected now under Studio Drew. And so, and I love that name.
Yeah.
I always love that name.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of like in my,
back pocket.
That was always in my back pocket.
I love that. I love the back pocket idea.
Yes.
It's like you never know when you can pull out one of those and use them. So, and that's such a huge thing about, perseverance and the huge blessing of it being now rather than later. Like you guys were able to nip it in the bud now and, get the products going even with the hardship of it.
Yes.
So how has it been? I do kind of want to talk a little bit about, with industries, we're seeing a lot with just the current times, how it's affected production. Have you guys seen any of those pain points of like products or materials, lack of anything like that?
Not really. Not for the materials that I spec to construct the bags.
Maybe price increase, if anything. Like maybe probably they're being a little bit more expensive than what they would have been.
Yeah, I would say, but honestly, a lot of them, and honestly, like a lot of my, it's the leather, which comes from Italy, all Italian, full grain, Italian hides. And I have a great relationship with my supplier, and we're emailing back and forth, and the consistency in his, the supply. I mean, every single hide that I've gotten, the color, hue, and everything has been the same. And so I really, as I was developing the bags, I chose suppliers that we're either a smaller kind of business, that I could be not just talking to some customer service person. Like I have relationships now over these years with those people. So if I'm in a crunch and I'm like, hey, like we had to change our name and I need 6 hides like tomorrow, like they can get that for me because I have, built that relationship.
I completely love that you said that because I love that idea of kind of like working in a niche, smaller, like working with those, like it's almost like farm to table, except it's with, goods. It's like you're getting like direct service and that's really incredible. Can you talk a little bit about the materials? You talk about the full grain versus what was the other one?
Genuine leather.
So versus genuine leather. Can you talk about what's the difference there? That's really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, the full grain is... she's the one who speaks that. Full grain is like,
it's literally coming off from a hide. There is no products pushed into it. But when I was doing some research, working in the styling industry, it had come to my attention that genuine leather is genuine leather because majority of it is made from leather. But it's not something, as you'll notice, a lot of genuine leather is almost so thick, it almost is not hide or skin-like. And that has to do with the fact that there are different products actually pushed into that leather. So majority is leather, but it's not completely leather. Where a full grain is, you're getting his pieces come in and they are a hide. So full grain is genuine, right off dried hide.
Yeah, I mean the color process, and I mean it's just richer, it's richer detail, and that's why like when you get like a luxury designer handbag that is crafted with like a genuine leather, like there's inconsistencies in markings and in the texture of the leather, but it's such a richer hue, and the hand to it, like the leather supplier that I work with, it's like butter.
Yep.
I mean, really it's so buttery. So when I found, and the color range is just, I mean, I still to this day, after working with those colors for the past year and a half, like I still love them because they're so rich and they're so beautiful and timeless. But even speaking to like other elements of the bags, the hardware that I use, the zipper quality, the zippers are all crafted in California, and just out of doing research, I found the best zipper manufacturer that you can get in the United States. I mean, it is thick. It is, tarnish resistant. I mean, it's like, that is also like butter. I mean, you just zip it and it's that feeling, right? Yeah. Like when you get,
I got the chance to zip one of these bags, you guys, and it is like, you can feel that attention to detail in the bags.
Well, even like, and I'd like to clarify with like the genuine leather, you can still have genuine on leather and it can still be a full grain leather, but just know that just because it says genuine leather doesn't always mean it is 100% from hide leather. Some people just use genuine leather because it's easier just to use basic terminology. But it's actually full grain. So just do your research. Usually you can tell by texture, inconsistencies in the leather, as they might have something. If the cow during its lifetime ever brushes up against something or anything like that, there can be that inconsistency in the leather, but that is usually, you can tell that that is a full grain.
Yeah, and they come with like branding marks. I mean, of course, I always, when I'm crafting a bag, I always select the most optimal part of the hide. But like it comes with the branding marks, and it's shaped like a cow, and but it's beautiful. You know what? When the leather day comes, I'm a happy guy. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, it smells like leather in my place, and I love unrolling them, and it's awesome. I just love leather. I think it's such a timeless, classic thing that, it's like an heirloom piece. Like anything that I have of leather, I've had for many, many, many years, and I cherish it. So,
and when you take care of it, it lasts so long. I mean, I've had, not against anything with vegan leather products, because they're a great piece in the fashion industry, but mine have tend to not hold up as long as my leather products have. So if it's something that you take care of, you can have that for years to come.
Yeah.
I love that.
And another fun little story, another little of part of the components is all of the bags are all aligned with really, really good quality Dobby duck cloth, which is a canvas. And the canvas is supplied from Chicago, which is the same manufacturer supplier that I made my tote bags back in 2014 with.
Oh.
So I just had a good relationship with them back in the day, and I decided to continue using them. So once again, I can just call them up and say, hey, I need this tomorrow, and they can get it for me. So
I love that. It just shows like that importance of that relationship component, and just, and finding something that you love and knowing that you have that resource. And that's really cool, you guys. One last question before we are going to check out these amazing bags, you guys. He's got the whole collection here, so we're going to check those out. But I have one question for you, as two questions, actually. One question, how is it, you're bringing this beautiful luxury product to Fargo, North Dakota. How are you utilizing this amazing community to bring this brand to life?
I have just been so humbled by the amount of support that I've gotten. Working in the design industry, here in Fargo, I've made a lot of connections with people. And of course, I've told people snippets of this, that, and they've seen maybe a prototype here and there. And it has just been so amazing to have the support and people already, buying or pre-ordering bags for me. I'm like, I was mind blown, and it really just makes me feel really good inside. It makes me feel supported by the community and that they're really loving what I'm doing, because it's kind of a strange thing, I think, for Fargo to have a luxury handcrafted kind of a higher fashion type of bag line, it's just not something that you see, I don't think, every single day. So it's been amazing support and energy coming from the community.
That's incredible. I love that story. And, it just shows that, even in small to mid-sized places, or utilizing small to mid-sized resources, you can get so much done and you can get these relationships that matter.
Yep.
And that's a huge part of it. And my final question, since this is the Fit Fabulous Life podcast.
Yes.
How are you creating a fit, fabulous life for you through following your dreams? It's a big question.
It's a good question. Through this journey, I think it's been really important to pause because, I do have a lot on my plate all the time, especially if some of you out there maybe know me personally. I take on a lot. And I think that what this collection has taught me is patience, because these bags take so long to make and each step is so tedious. It's taught me to slow down and really, enjoy those moments. And especially coming up to the launch, of course I'm stressed out and I'm, beyond crazy in my mind, but I don't want to forget to focus in on what I'm doing and what a great achievement this has been for me personally. And so I think just that the whole mental capacity of, taking care of myself in that way and slowing down and just enjoying.
Enjoy the process. That's such a huge thing. And as creatives, that is something sometimes we forget to do. And I love that you said that as a huge reminder to myself included and to Cait, you guys are doing something really big and I'm so excited to see it blossom.
Well, I'm blessed that Andy asked me to be along this journey a few months ago, and it's been a blessing. And I think it's helped to have somebody delegate things to that he can let go and know that they're entrusted. And so it's been a great process.
She helps calm my mind.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, his panic when we were doing the shoot, I swear, I was like, Andy, I'm not trying to break down the bubble here, but this is what's going to happen. And I'm being honest with you. And I think that's even Fit Fabulous Life is even leading with business relationships with honesty and knowing you can communicate with each other to succeed. Because if we don't, then that's where you hit roadblocks.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, when you're doing something on your own for so long and you don't have, you have you maybe coworkers at a different job or friends or whatever, but on a business level, I didn't have anyone to talk to, it was always just my ideas up in my head. And so, having Cait with me, because it's great to be challenged and it's great to collaborate and talk about different ideas. I've learned so much from her, and I do feel very close to Cait over these past several months, and sharing all of my little secrets that I've been working on, because I am a pretty private person. I haven't really, told too many people about what I've been doing. And to kind of have her, in there and experiencing it with me has been amazing.
And I just loved it. I've known Andy for 3 years now, a little over 3 years, and seeing the process and now getting to be a part of it has been a blessing because I love high fashion. Mm-hmm. And now I get to be a part of that world, which is something I've always wanted as a stylist. So.
Oh, well, I love it. You do touch my heart. I'm so excited to share your journey. And I want to thank everyone for tuning into this show. And now I really want to, for our video watchers and our podcast listeners, I would love to see some of these bags.
All right.
Yes. Bring a few of them over. Yes. Gorgeous collection here. So
grab those.
You guys need some help? I'm like,
you're like, no, we'll just grab them.
I love it.
We'll show these. Okay.
Oh, those are gorgeous. Here they come, you guys. I'm so excited.
Just an FYI, you guys, I've been purging my bag collection just so my entire collection is solely Drew.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to do the same because I am like a really not a bag person, but I like these bags. And
they're so timeless.
These are
like, they don't.
Stunning.
Yeah. These aren't ones that are going to just go out of style because they're they're classic, they're minimal, but they're just a timeless piece. They'll go with everything, business, even street style, anything.
Work.
Yep.
And that was the whole idea, was to just create a line that was, forever.
Yes.
If you're going to invest in a piece, you want to be able to wear it with everything and every day. And so, we've done the quality test. We've done it all, and they all check out. And it's like I get like,
right.
Emotional just looking at them, kind of done. But there's how many pieces in the line? We have 2 different bag styles. Mm-hmm. This is the museum tote, which is the big, kind of hefty, take it anywhere, use it for anything kind of tote bag.
And it even works with the coin.
Oh, yeah, you did the coin tote. This is kind of the boss bag.
The boss bag. It is definitely the boss bag.
Like, this is the one I was drawn to right away. I was like,
oh, it's stunning.
Yeah, it can hold anything, literally.
Like, can you imagine running to like your business meeting or your podcast and be able to tote everything in this?
I can fit my microphone. I can fit my computer. Right. Yeah. That's fabulous. That's right up my alley, you guys.
I know how to sell. No, I'm just kidding.
She does know how to sell.
Ask Kayla when she used to come visit me.
In your previous?
Yes. People would tell me not to come up and don't go see Cait because my wallet can't afford Cait.
I love that. I love that we've connected in the fashion world.
Yes.
And
that's how we originally met, and look at where both of us have gone. So
love it.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have
the second bag is the Laurel. And that comes in 2 different sizes.
Yes. I love
this. Is the bag, the Laurel carry-all, and they all have this really cool detail, that closure. That can be untied and done however you want. And so that's the little petite, super cute,
adorable.
They both come with a shoulder strap.
Yes, and I love
purse feet.
Oh, I like the purse feet.
Yep.
And actually, all of the bags come with a coin.
Oh,
so it's perfect.
Great.
And you could take it off this and put your keys on there. Or
I like that it's hooked in there too, because I think about I travel quite a bit.
Yes.
This is super great for if you're like on the go and you don't want to lose anything. Like I lose things constantly.
Well, and do you ever like look through a bigger bag and you're like, I cannot find my wallet? Like you can just pull that right out and you're good to go.
Oh, that's super handy.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple crossbodies.
Love a good crossbody.
You can talk about the pouch while I'm grabbing.
Yes, aren't those adorable? And these ones, so what I love about these pieces is they can actually go in the bigger bags. So if you want like something to put a few more goods in and you just want to keep storage, you can these fit in the larger totes, which is fantastic.
Again, great for travel because if you get to your destination, you don't want to carry your big bag, you can grab a little bag and like empty out your stuff. Oh, and that's it. Oh,
yes.
Oh,
so I can show the 2 sizes here.
Oh, cute.
And this is the one, like I keep this in my tote bag.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
With like phone cords,
whatever you need. Mine would be probably like makeup or
like lip gloss and tossing some pieces in there.
Probably an outfit if you really need to roll up an outfit.
And even just to talk about the colors, there are 4 different colors in our core collection. So that color is the butter. And then we also have the bone.
This is the bone,
which is more of like a gray taupe color.
It might not be coming off the best in the image, but
it's beautiful regardless.
Kind of like it's like a
you can always head to our Instagram at info.studiodrew on Instagram to see our pieces. Yeah, and then the wristlets are so cute. I love the piping that.
Now, is that like a chocolatey?
This is the walnut.
Yep.
Walnut.
Yep.
It's like a dark chocolate brown.
See, hear that?
Did you hear that zip?
Beautiful.
Oh my! You can hear it. You can hear the quality. I love that. See, you're like a Mozart of bags.
Right?
I love the zipper. I'm like,
I know when he first gave me a wristlet, I was like, the zipper. That's beautiful.
And then we have 2 different styles of crossbody.
Yep.
Which the Corso, this is the Corso Petite, the little one. But it does fit the largest size iPhone.
Yes, we double checked.
You guys are on the ball.
We redesigned it because it was too small.
We had a little micro that might be down the line. If you are into micro purses, let us know. But
so is that micro purse right now in the graveyard?
It's
or is it?
It's in the set aside.
It's in the set aside. It might be for sale online on like a sample sale type of thing.
Oh,
we'll see.
Okay.
But it's cute for like a little, if you want a concert and you're going to have your phone in your hands anyway, like.
That's not a bad idea.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want something that you're lugging around.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I love our crossbodies. My mom has already claimed a crossbody when they launch because she loves it so much.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and then we have the wristlet. We have the coin, which I don't have with me today, but it is, it's this size. And I keep all of my cash, cards, my key fob in, and the actual coin that's going to be for sale is piped just like this one.
And even when they get like worn in just a little bit, they don't get worn in where they're like getting loose or baggy. They get worn in where they're adjustable for putting stuff in, but they still hold that up to that shape, which is fantastic. Because I've had my coin for a while and it's my favorite go-to.
Now, how do you care for something like this? That's like my...
Yeah, so, well, when you purchase a bag, it comes with this little, care card and also, the product code, artisan code, the date that it was made. And so to care for it, if there's, I would say just routinely using like a certified leather conditioner. I really love leather CPR. You can get it on Amazon. And it just shines it right up. But if there's, deeper dirt marks, you can use, just a soft cloth with some warm water and a little bit of Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, easy care. I love that.
I mean, leather is it's a really tough material. Like it stands up.
Mm-hmm.
And
it feels like when we say butter, it feels like butter.
This is lovely. Now, and you have a kind of a unique, is it pillowing?
It is. So this came about.
It was after our first meeting because you showed me the collection. And then the next time we met, you're like, I went with the pillow collection.
Pillow. When I was going through my prototyping, I wasn't loving how the structure, I love this, it's a little bit structured, but it's a soft structure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go through all the details of how, each layer of things, but there are a lot of different layers of interfacing and whatnot, but there is a padding. So it's structured, but it's soft.
Yes. And
so
even
it
you
keeps
can
its shape, and it has that roundedness.
The structure even comes into the zipper, which is something that I've never seen, but has been one of my favorite zippers.
It's not fun.
I noticed
that was a mistake.
Really?
That came from a mistake.
Okay.
I mean, totally.
What happened? Because this is I thought this was very intentional.
Once it happened, I was like, whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah, he showed me. I'm like, oh, I love how it's not like you're fumbling to grab the zipper. It's just it's the perfect handheld piece.
Yeah, I think I showed you. I was like, do you think this is weird?
And I'm like,
and you're like, no, that's amazing. And actually, because the bags are so minimal, it's kind of like that little cherry on top.
It's a little detail, and
it's noticeable,
and it's ergonomically very functional too.
Yes.
Form and function all in one.
But I don't even know what I was trying to accomplish, but all of a sudden it just happened, and I was like, whoa, I think that's going to be it's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
And it was good. It's very good.
I love it, you guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing this collection with us and sharing your story. That's the huge part behind it. Everyone who purchases one of these bags, you're not just purchasing a bag, you're purchasing a story, you're purchasing something that your story will be on.
Yes.
Your story will be you create your story. Your travels will be in this bag. Your life is in this bag, So I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for asking us.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Like I said, if you want to know more about our bag, You can always follow us on Instagram, info.studiodrew. We are on Facebook as well. And then if you ever have any questions, you can email Cait at shopstudiodrew or stopdrew.com.
Yep, you can email Cait, reach us out on Instagram, and then
you
check us out online June 15th.
Email us, message us. We'd love to let you know more.
And we'll definitely have you up on the Fit Fabulous Life podcast and in our show notes and on our website and everything. I love what you're doing. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and sharing this journey with us. And have a great, fit, fabulous day. Bye.
Bye.